We were now in Samburu, known for its special five. These animals are not seen anywhere else in the Kenya. They are not in Masai Mara, they are not in Amboseli, they are neither seen in Naivasha nor in Nakuru. So if you are visiting Kenya and want to see these five animals, then essentially you have to visit Samburu. There is no other option. So what are these five? Number one, reticulated giraffe. It has a brick-like pattern known as a reticulated pattern and are more reddish than the Masai giraffe found in Masai Mara. The other giraffe variety found in Kenya is Rothschild's giraffe, which you can find or spot in Nakuru. Second is Gerenuk. It is one of the most interesting species. It has borrowed features from impala, camel and giraffe. While it has a brown coat like impala, the neck is fairly long and slender like giraffe. Face is somewhat resembling a camel. The third is oryx, also called kokama in Afrikaans. The unique feature of this antelope is that the thin and straight-ringed horns are found both in male and female. In other antelopes, you will see horns only in males and not in females. The fourth special animal, or rather bird, is Somali ostrich. It has a blue neck and legs as against the pink neck and legs found in ostrich from Mara. The fifth one is Gravy zebra. It is the largest amongst all the zebras. The close set, thin stripes gives an illusion of a fingerprint if photographed from a particular angle. We were lucky to see all these five special animals on our second day morning safari. Previous day, we started from Nairobi at 6 in the morning. It takes nearly 6 hours drive to reach Samburu. On the way, we passed the equator. After lunch and getting our cameras ready, we headed for the first afternoon safari in Samburu. About 1 kilometer from our safari lodge, there was a leopard on an acacia tree. It had killed a full-grown ostrich which was lying beneath the acacia. We also noticed that there was an egg of this ostrich lying some 10 feet away from the kill. All evidence suggested that ostrich was attacked when it was hatching its egg. Sadly, not only the ostrich died, but this egg also will now remain lifeless. Nature can be very cruel, and while you are on a safari, you will see many aspects of it. Light behind the leopard was too harsh and leopard was in a relative shade. Theoretically, this situation demands shooting an high key image, that is, overexpose to get details in the leopard. But in this case, the contrast was so much and the light was too complicated to get a proper detail on the leopard even if you are shooting a high key image. So in such situation, it is better to underexpose, shoot an outline of the leopard instead of going for an high key image and get that silhouetted effect. Leopard descended the tree and I made some images. But as you can see that the background was not conducive. It was distracting. It was too busy. In wildlife photography, background plays an important role in deciding the final appeal of your image. Some 20 minutes later, there was a radio message that there were some cheetahs which were sighted. We were excited to see the cheetah. But our excitement reached zenith when we saw not one, two, but 5 cheetahs together. They were mother and 4 sub-adults. Rain started and with this, cheetah also started licking each other in an attempt to keep themselves dry. We made some images using set parameters for such condition. If you are interested in learning more about what are the parameters which needs to be set in your camera for shooting wildlife with the rain, please watch this video. I will also link it in the description of this video. Light was fast fading and we called off our safari. But at this point, we were not aware that these cheetahs were going to give us best ever cheetah sighting in coming 2 days. Next day morning, we again went to the spot where the leopard was seen the previous evening. We found that though kill was still there, leopard was missing. Maybe it was hiding somewhere in the tall grass. There were a couple of eagles waiting to scavenge. Surprisingly, we did not see any hyenas or vultures in Samburu. Had it been Mara, the kill would have been over by now. We left the spot and went for a Manga Manga safari. If you want to know what is Manga Manga Safari, then watch previous episodes of this series. Link is also provided in the description. In our Manga Manga Safari, we encountered Special 5 of Samburu and its rich bird life. We also saw a relatively elusive bat-eared fox and a dwarf mongoose. We started afternoon safari again with the leopard. By now, it had become as if it is a resident leopard of our lodge. After sitting for some time on acacia, it descended and dissolved in the bushes. A brief shower painted the sky with 7 colors. We found giraffe as a foreground subject to shoot against the rainbow. Giraffe never looked at us and neither it walked towards us. I was not much happy with the result and wanted to try some different angle, some different position, some different spot. But by that time, the rainbow has faded. We moved on to find jackal pups playing. This was definitely a very good activity and I knew with my previous safari experience that if we spend more time with these jackals, they are going to give us a good frame. It was in 2014, my first ever safari in African continent. I got this image of jackal pups. With this experience in back of my mind, I was in favor of staying with the jackals. But then as it happens, cheetah news was also there. And it was a dilemma whether to stay with the jackal pups or go for the cheetahs. Remember, cheetah also had babies and there was a chance that they also might play in the evening. We left jackals and our wish came true. Cheetah babies started playing and we got some beautiful action shots. Tall grass did provide a bit of focusing challenge, but cheetahs obliged us by rising above the grass. A piece of advice: refrain from using 3D area mode in such cases. It surely is going to boomerang. Instead, use a single point focus with autofocus continuous mode. If you are using a Canon, then use AI servo mode. A rainbow reappeared and we positioned ourselves to shoot the cheetah scape. Remember one thing, whenever you want to shoot this type of image, keep yourself away from the subject as much as possible. Then use a telephoto lens to compress the subject and the sky and shoot with an aperture of f8 or f11. Cheetah babies also provided us an opportunity to shoot stunning portraits with uniform, unicolored background. If the background, or for that matter area around the subject in the frame, is uniform, unicolored, free of distracting elements, then it draws viewers' attention to the main subject and enhances the appeal of your final image. Cheetah returns to her cubs after a failed hunt. It was 6:30 in the evening. She may have to remain empty stomach for another night. Or will she hunt just before it is totally dark? This was our second last day in Samburu. Today, we went for a full day safari. Almost the entire day was spent with this cheetah family. Despite being the fastest animal on earth, cheetah succeeds in only 1 out of 6 attempts. The presence of 4 sub-adult cubs also was making the task more difficult for her. She was hungry, and her desperation was noticeable throughout the day. Around 3:30 in the afternoon, she managed to hunt a hare. But this kill was too small for the entire family of 5. We saw the character of a mother here. She allowed 4 cubs to share the kill. Despite being hungry herself, she sacrificed and starved so that babies can have some food. Not only she allowed them to share the kill, but also ensured that babies are given the training of a hunting skill when she brought a live hare and put it in front of them. This allowed us to capture a series of action shots, some good, some bad. It was a fast action, and to frame it perfectly was difficult. The erratic movement of hare was just not predictable, both for us and for the cheetahs. This resulted in getting some shots wherein animal body part was cut abruptly, giving it an unpleasant look. Whenever you are shooting an action, you must shoot little wide so that you have some leeway. But care should be taken that you should not shoot too much wide. Otherwise, in post-processing, too much amount of cropping would be required, which may deteriorate the final quality of your image. I opted for a focal length of around 250 mm. Got some good frame without the need for cropping much in post-processing. However, few images did omit essential elements and were thus not usable. I always keep saying in my teaching that whenever you are framing and looking through the viewfinder or the LCD screen, you must look at the borders to avoid any accidental inclusion or accidental omission. But one frame in this series, interestingly, by default, by accident, came out like this. Hare in between, on the right side, head of one cheetah, and on left side, tail of another cheetah. Although accidental, but somehow I liked it. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. Just because you are a professional photographer, that does not mean that each time you will be shooting a perfect frame and there is no need for any cropping in post-processing. If someone claims it, then he is not honest, neither to himself nor to his profession. We started the day with an exciting note. Before the sun rose on horizon, we were with these cheetahs. As sunrise kissed cheetah family, they all become active. While the video was being recorded, I also recorded a time-lapse video with my cell phone. Do not underestimate the power of cell phone camera. Use it judiciously. And of course, getting a family portrait with a rim light effect was always on the agenda. If you are interested in knowing what should be your camera settings to shoot the effective rim light effect, then watch this video. You will also find a link in the description. After a while, baby started playing. Fast shutter speed freezed the action. But suddenly, the scenario changed. Cubs stopped playing. Mother was getting ready for a serious job. She sighted a group of impala. Cubs followed and spoiled the effort. Impalas were alerted and Mother Cheetah had to put her task on hold. One of the sub-adult cub provided a perfect condition to shoot a high-key image. High-key images often look better if converted to black and white. So here I am presenting both color and monochrome version. You be the judge and let me know in the comment which one is your choice. Since we were following this cheetah for the whole day, they provided us an ample opportunity to shoot various type of images. Sometimes they would pose for us climbing on the tree, sometimes on a termite mound, and sometimes they all will come together and give us a portrait shot. But some of the best portraits were provided by these cheetah cubs after feasting on the hare. The blood-stained face and their greetings gave a unique opportunity to shoot close images with wide open aperture to get a shallow depth of field. And one image out of this was also photo of the day. We spent almost 13 hours with these cheetahs, but mother was still empty stomach. Tomorrow, she must hunt. This was our last morning in Samburu. We got the information that cheetah mother had hunted a gazelle. Naturally, we were excited. We rushed to the spot in anticipation that we would be able to see the cheetah family feasting on the gazelle. But what we saw instead was disturbing. Nature's law can be cruel. The hard-earned meal of cheetah was snatched by a lioness. This was heartbreaking. We searched for the cheetah family but could not find them. Maybe they have gone far away or crossed the river, or maybe they were hiding in a tall grass. We were feeling bad about the cheetah mother. She was empty stomach since last 3 days. Yesterday she hunted a hare but gave it to her kids so that they can have some food. She was still empty stomach. Finally today morning she hunted a gazelle, but lioness stole it. We spent some time with lioness, making some photographs and videos. While we were waiting, we found a baby oryx lying some 50 feet away from the lioness in a tall grass. It was freshly born and unable to stand. However, this inability kept him disguised. Baby oryx seemed to be destined to die. If lioness discovers it, it will kill it. If not, then baby will die because of hunger and dehydration. What could have happened? It might be possible that mother oryx, after seeing the lioness, ran away, leaving the baby with its fate. Fortunately for the baby oryx, lioness did not notice it. She left and went to drink water. We followed her. Baby oryx was later rescued and handed over to the rangers. And we started our journey back to Nairobi. Kwaheri, Kenya. See you once again in May 2024.